Hello and a very good morning. You're tuned into First Up here on India Today. I'm Akshita Nandagopal. This Monday morning, domestic flight services resume, and we'll get you all the details that you need to know. If you're planning to fly out, heading to another city over the next few days, we'll get you details of what to keep in mind when you head to the airport. Let's get you the latest numbers on the coronavirus cases in India. As per the government, 1,31,868 cases of COVID-19 have been reported so far in India. The death toll also, unfortunately, has gone up now to 3,867. Maharashtra remains the worst affected state with 47,190 cases. The death toll also now rising. It's gone up to 1,577. Over to the state of Tamil Nadu, the number of cases crossing the 15,000 mark, 15,512 cases to be exact. The death toll also crossing the 100 mark, with 103 deaths being reported in the state. In Gujarat, the number of cases stands at 13,664. But it is the death toll, that figure, that's very, very worrying, with 829 deaths being reported in Gujarat. Those are the latest numbers as of 6:30 this morning. Here's also a look at the top 5 developments. The Delhi government has issued a new circular directing all private hospitals to reserve beds for coronavirus patients. Private hospitals in the city with a capacity of over 50 beds will have to reserve 20% of beds for COVID-19 patients. There are about 117 such hospitals. With 9 more Jawans of the Central Reserve Police Force testing positive for coronavirus on Sunday, the total cases in the force has climbed to 359. All the new cases were reported in the national capital. These include 137 active cases, 220 recoveries and 2 casualties to date. The Maharashtra government has requested the Kerala government to provide experienced doctors as well as management of COVID-19 cases in the city of Mumbai. Doctors and nurses are needed for the new 60-bed hospitals that are being made in the city. This after the health ministers of both states held a video conference meet last week with KK Shailaja to, in fact, tackle the pandemic. With 394 fresh cases in the last 24 hours, Gujarat's coronavirus cases is now inching towards the 14,000 mark. Ahmedabad, the worst hit city, has reported 279 new cases, taking the total cases in the city above the 10,200 mark. Telangana has reported 41 new COVID-19 cases in the last 24 hours, with 4 deaths also being reported. 23 new cases were confirmed in Hyderabad alone. A total of 148 migrants have tested positive in the state. Total cases in the state has now crossed the 1,800 mark. And our top focus this morning, Indian skies have opened up for domestic passenger services from today after a gap of nearly 2 months. The first flight was scheduled from Delhi to Pune at 4:45 this morning. The Civil Aviation Ministry has issued a set of guidelines to those travelling across the states, while the decision to quarantine passengers has been left to the state governments. Aviation Minister Hardeep Singh Puri has said that preference is being given to flights connecting Northeast region, hill states, islands as well as short-haul routes. All flights will be augmented in a calibrated manner. States like West Bengal, Chhattisgarh and Maharashtra have requested to either defer resumption of services or to operate with a reduced schedule at this point.
आखिरकार 2 महीने बाद भारत में डोमेस्टिक एयर ट्रैवल दोबारा से शुरू हो गया है। दरअसल लॉकडाउन फर्स्ट लगते ही डोमेस्टिक ट्रैवल बंद कर दिया गया था और उसके बाद लगातार ये बंद था। अब जाकर ये खोला गया है और आज पहला दिन है। आप देखिए कि किस तरह से अलग-अलग जगह के लिए जो लोग हैं वो अब जा रहे हैं, लेकिन इस बार चीजें बदली हुई नजर आएंगी। आमतौर पर पिछली बार जैसे आप एयर ट्रैवल करते थे उससे काफी ज्यादा अलग अनुभव रहने वाला है। ये देखिए, सबसे जरूरी बात है कि सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग का पालन किया जाएगा। 2 लोगों के बीच की जो दूरी है उसे बढ़ाया गया है। इसके साथ ही जो चेक इन है वो इस बार वेब चेक इन रहने वाला है, मैनुअल चेक इन नहीं रहने वाला। उसके बाद अगर आप देखेंगे तो यहाँ से जो बैगेज है वो बैगेज सैनिटाइजिंग जोन में जाता है। ये जो मशीन है ये यूवी रेस से सैनिटाइज करती है आपके बैगेज को, और खास बात ये भी है कि केवल एक बैग ही इस बार अलाउ किया गया है। और इस तरह से अगर आप देखेंगे तो तमाम प्रोसीजर के तहत यहाँ पर अगर आप देखेंगे तो विंडशील्ड लगाकर दूर से ही दिखाने हैं अपने डॉक्यूमेंट्स, और उसके बाद अंदर जब जाएंगे तो वहाँ पर आपका बाकायदा थर्मल चेकअप भी होगा। यानी अगर कोई सिम्टम नज़र नहीं आते हैं तो ही आपको फ्लाइट करने की इजाजत मिलेगी।
And let's tell you what's happening in every state. Remember, in Maharashtra, there was a lot of confusion, a lot of speculation of whether flight services will resume. But the Maharashtra government has finally agreed to resume flight operations. Maharashtra Minister Nawab Malik announced that the state will allow movement of only 25 passenger flights to and from the Mumbai airport from today. He further informed that the scale of operations will be slowly increased. The first departure from Mumbai was at 6:45 this morning for Patna. The first arrival will be from Lucknow in about 1 hour from now. That's at 8:20 a.m. But even as domestic flight operations resume, 2 officers tested positive for coronavirus at Mumbai's air cargo complex. A total of 6 officers have tested positive so far. Yesterday, Maharashtra Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray had raised concerns that the resumption of flight services may pose as a serious threat to the worsted state. And while domestic flights across the country are taking off now from major cities, Andhra Pradesh and West Bengal won't have any flights today. Now, the Mamata Banerjee government has said that the flights will be taking off from Kolkata only from May 28th, as the state is still recovering from the destruction caused due to Cyclone Ampan. On the other hand, flights from Vijayawada and Visakhapatnam in Andhra Pradesh will resume from Tuesday. Meanwhile, several states have issued quarantine guidelines for passengers who arrive in their territories via flights. The Delhi airport has issued a guideline stating that quarantine is not mandatory for the flyers. It also said that asymptomatic passengers can exit the airport after thermal screening. On the other hand, passengers with mild symptoms can opt for home isolation and get tested later. States like Kerala have made it compulsory for travellers to undergo 14-day quarantine after arriving in the state. So domestic flight services have kicked off. What about international travel? Well, the centre has come out with fresh guidelines on the same. All flyers coming from foreign countries will have to now undergo mandatory quarantine of 14 days. Of this, 7 days will be institutional quarantine, the cost of which will be borne by the passenger. Now, the remaining 7 days, they will have to spend at home in isolation. They will also have to download the government's Arogya Setu app to keep a track on their health status. Travellers who are asymptomatic will be allowed to travel with precautions such as a mask and also, of course, gloves, as well as all the other protective gear that's needed. A self-declaration form has to be filled and shared with health officials. Civil Aviation Minister Hardeep Puri on Saturday hinted at the fact that international flights might restart by mid-June or July.
If the situation eases or improves, by that I mean if the virus behaves in a predictable manner, we get used to the idea of being able to coexist with the virus, and we are in a position to make arrangements. Why not start by June middle or end June or July?
Meanwhile, let's also get your details this morning of the all-out Twitter war that we've been tracking between Union Railways Minister Piyush Goyal and Uddhav Thackeray government over the migrants issue. After Maharashtra Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray demanded trains for migrants, the Railway Minister tweeted asking for a list of passengers and claimed that 125 trains were ready to ferry migrants back home. What followed was a series of tweets by the Railway Minister alleging that the Uddhav Thackeray government had still not sent the list of passengers as asked by the centre. Later, Sanjay Raut, Shiv Sena MP, responded to the minister saying that the state government had in fact sent the list of passengers. Earlier on Sunday, the Shiv Sena in its mouthpiece Samna had in fact hit out at the Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath. The Sena editorial compared Yogi to Adolf Hitler over the migrants issue, alleging that migrants from Uttar Pradesh were not allowed to enter the state and go back to their native places. Yogi then responded to Sanjay Raut, accusing the Maha Vikas Aghadi government of betraying the migrant workers. So a lot of politics that's also playing out over the migrant crisis, particularly in the state of Maharashtra, as we just showed you. Let's also tell you what are the latest updates on the coronavirus outbreak in Maharashtra, because you continue to see a constant spike in the number of cases. New cases have crossed the 3,000 mark in the last 24 hours. 3,041 patients have tested positive. This is the biggest spike in a single day recorded in the state so far. Total cases is now inching towards the 50,000 mark. One Maharashtra minister has also tested positive for COVID-19. Mumbai remains the worst hit city, not just in Maharashtra but across the country, with over 30,000 cases. 58 more deaths being reported in the city, which means that the death toll in now the state has crossed the 1,500 mark. With cases soaring day by day, Maharashtra continues to remain the worst hit state in the country, with Mumbai, of course, as the hotspot. Over to the national capital, where 508 COVID cases have been reported in the last 24 hours. Fortunately, however, there's been no death that's been reported in the capital during the last 24 hours. The total coronavirus cases are inching towards the 13,000 mark. The death toll in the capital stands at 231. The Delhi police personnel, who are at the forefront of the COVID fight, have been worst hit. Over 300 police personnel have tested positive for the contagious virus. One Delhi police constable, Amit Kumar, lost his life unfortunately a few days ago. With just 6 days left for the fourth phase of lockdown to end, remains to be seen what measures the Delhi government really takes to contain the spread of the coronavirus. Moving on to other stories, the Jubilant Generics, the company in Karnataka's Nanjangud, which is in Mysuru, which was shut due to COVID-19, will resume operations soon as per the guidelines by the Indian Council for Medical Research. The state government has accorded clearance for the operations.
It was branded Mysuru's super spreader. Pharma company Jubilant Generics was in the eye of a storm after 76 of its employees mysteriously tested positive for COVID-19. All cases linked to an employee identified as patient 52. And now, months on, the company's all set to reopen after a state government nod. After stringent testing, treatment and isolation, all infected employees have recovered from COVID-19. Sources in the company say that it is following all government directives.
Jubilant ಕಾರ್ಖಾನೆ ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಬೇಡ ಅನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದು ಹೆಲ್ತ್ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಗೆ ಬಿಟ್ಟಂಥ ವಿಚಾರ. ನನಗಿರೋ ಮಾಹಿತಿ ಹೆಲ್ತ್ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟು ICMRಗೆ ಬರೆದಿತ್ತು ಮತ್ತು ಫಾರ್ಮಸ್ಯೂಟಿಕಲ್ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕೂಡ ಬರೆದಿತ್ತು. ICMR ಕೆಲವು ಗೈಡ್ಲೈನ್ಸನ್ನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಇದು ಫಾರ್ಮಸಿ ಮತ್ತು ಕೊರೋನಾ ವೈರಸ್ ಇದನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಸಂಶೋಧನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದು ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ವಿಚಾರ ಬಂದು ನನಗೆ ಖಚಿತ ಮಾಹಿತಿ ಇರೋದರಿಂದ ಕೆಲವು ನಿರ್ಬಂಧಗಳನ್ನು ಹಾಕಿ ಮಾಡುವಂಥದ್ದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯತೆಗಳಿದೆ. ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿಗಳು ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ.
Even Nanjangud MLA Harshvardhan, who initially wanted a probe against the company, has changed his stance.
See, the CBI probe that the former MP Dhruv Narayanji is demanding, I think it is totally baseless. There are certain parameters which you take to demand the CBI probe into this. And I don't think it is not only feasible, but I don't think it is possible at this point of a junction also.
But local Congress leaders accuse the company of adopting unfair means to get permission to reopen.
ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಇದ್ರಿ ಅವತ್ತು ಪತ್ರಿಕಾಗೋಷ್ಠಿ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ 50,000 ಕಿಟ್ ಮತ್ತು 10 ಗ್ರಾಮಗಳನ್ನ ದತ್ತು ತಗೊಂಡದಲ್ಲ, ಅದನ್ನೇ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಬಟ್ ಎ ಬ್ರೈಬ್, ಅದನ್ನೇ ಕಿಕ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಅಂದಿದ್ದು ನಾನು.
But the much maligned company is now on a new high. Its parent, Jubilant Life Sciences, has tied up with the US drug firm Gilead to make and sell Remdesivir, a possible frontline drug to fight the coronavirus.
From a super spreader to a manufacturer of medicines for coronavirus, this company has indeed come a long way. However, with the government-led investigation coming out with no details as such, there is a demand for the CBI to look into this to find out how exactly did patient 52 become infected after all. With video journalist Madhuwar, Nolan Pinto for India Today.
We're now getting you a mega exclusive report of India Today having accessed the first satellite images of Chinese intrusion in Galwan River areas of Ladakh. These satellite images that we're going to show you show the Chinese build-up and India's response to Chinese aggression.
Look closely at these pictures. They are the first images from the high-altitude Galwan River Valley in Ladakh. The first visual evidence of China's force build-up in a serious new standoff with India. Chinese durable tents, heavy-duty trucks and earth-moving machinery. Clear evidence that this isn't your everyday standoff. China plans to stretch this one out. Over 20 days, Chinese troops have raised temperatures in the Galwan River Valley in Ladakh as well as the Pangong Lake to the south, with as many as 4 points of provocation. The satellite imagery expert who obtained these new pictures believes China is reinforcing itself.
So in recent months, along the Chinese side in the Galwan Valley, there's been 3, perhaps 4 encampments set up, including one which is probably exactly on the line of control. It's about 500 meters away from the nearest Indian encampment. And it basically, it's a small camp of maybe a platoon of not more than 10 or 12 tents. Mm-hmm. But essentially, it's sitting almost exactly on the line of actual control between Chinese forces and Indian forces.
But the images also clearly establish that India has been matching China troop for troop, bunker for bunker in the area.
Looking at, again, from Friday, there was satellite imagery of the hot springs area further south.
Yes.
And it does look as though Chinese forces had set up a patrol route that did cross the line of actual control. Although there weren't any permanent positions past that line, it looks like there was a patrol route that crossed it by a couple of 100 meters.
Yes, absolutely.
And since that, in a response to that, it looks like Indian forces have started to set up more permanent positions to sort of monitor that section of the line.
While these images establish the situation on ground, one thing remains beyond doubt for external observers. This is a COVID-pressured China clearly flexing muscle to assert more control.
China's in a position where it wants to show a lot of strength to the rest of the world and its neighbors right now, after sort of suffering some weak economic figures following the coronavirus outbreak. And especially, even when you look at Hong Kong, they've put a more aggressive hand there than ever before. So I think there is a certain message that China's looking to send to the world and to its neighbors of strength.
20 days in, this is already an unusually sustained standoff. Can India and China de-escalate, or does China have other plans? Bureau Report, India Today.
And moving on, it's been a very, very hot weekend for the national capital. A heat wave gripping Delhi as maximum temperatures on Sunday hovered around 46 degrees Celsius, several notches above normal. Other cities like Chennai, Churu in Rajasthan are also facing blistering heat.
While April was less warmer than usual, summer has peaked in the month of May, with temperature hovering over 40 degrees Celsius in many parts of the country. National capital Delhi has been reeling under scorching heat wave for the last few days. According to the Met Department, temperature will remain around 46 degrees in the coming days, and the heat wave is expected to turn more extreme from Monday.
Those people who are out there for the work are feeling some sort of difficulty because of this scorching heat. But after 28, for the period of 2 days, the temperature will reduce and will reach to around 42 degrees Celsius, which will give the residents some of the relief, the respite from this scorching heat.
Some relief may be in sight though. Met Department has predicted rains and thunderstorm from May 29 that will result in a slight dip.
25 और 26 तारीख को ये हीट वेव की कंडीशन और ज़्यादा हो जाएगी, इंटेंसिटी ज़्यादा हो जाएगी और इसके चलते जो है जो तापमान है लगभग 46-47 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड लगभग सभी ऑब्जर्वेटरी में आने की संभावना है। आने वाले जो आपके पास 4 से 5 दिन है लगभग 28 तारीख तक हीट वेव की कंडीशन दिल्ली NCR में बनी रहेगी।
The temperature has soared to 47 degrees Celsius in Rajasthan's Churu, the highest in the country. That's not all. The mercury could touch 48 degrees in the coming days.
Temperatures in Jaipur, Barmer, Dholpur have respectively been hovering around 43, 44 and 45 degrees Celsius. So now it is not just COVID-19 during lockdown, but also this scorching weather and this dry heat that people in Rajasthan have been trying to protect themselves.
Several cities of Uttar Pradesh are reeling under heat wave. Prayagraj wore a deserted look as many chose to remain indoors in the heat.
सवेरे 9 ही बजे से आज इतनी गर्मी पड़ने लग गई यहाँ पर कि मतलब घर से निकलना दूभर हो गया था और जैसे ही घर से निकला है तो एकदम हाथ में चट्टे टाइप के पड़ने लग गए, दाने टाइप के उभर आए हैं और 40 से 45 डिग्री ऐसा लग रहा है कि इतनी समय पड़ रहा है और बहुत ही भीषण गर्मी है आज।
गर्मी तो बहुत ज़्यादा दिक्कत हो रही है, सुबह से ही सूरज में आग बरस रही है और बहुत ज़रूरी काम पे ही हम लोग बाहर निकल रहे हैं और जगह जगह पानी पीना पड़ रहा है और गला बिल्कुल सूखता चला जा रहा है।
Maharashtra's Nagpur recorded 46 degrees. Policemen were seen performing their duties with their heads covered. The maximum temperature is around 40 degrees in Chennai, and it's only making normal life difficult with people queuing up at juice shops to beat the heat.
சென்னையை பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் கடந்த 3 நாளா வெயில் ரொம்ப அதிகமாக தான் இருக்கு. காலையில் 9 மணி வரைக்கும் பெருசாக ஒன்றும் தெரியல, ஆனால் 9:30க்கு அப்புறம் வர வெயிலெல்லாம் வந்து தாங்க முடியல. அதோட உஷ்ணம் கொஞ்சம் கொஞ்சமாக வந்து பார்த்தீங்கன்னா வச்சுங்களேன் 11லேருந்து ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணி 3:30 மணி கிட்ட 4 மணி வரைக்கும் இருக்குது. இப்போ நாங்கள் ஒர்க் ஃப்ரம் ஹோம் பண்ணுறோம், எங்களால் ஓட்டு வீட்டில் இருக்கோம், நாங்கள் ஓட்டு வீட்டில் இருக்கிற அனலுக்கு நாங்கள் எப்படி அதெல்லாம் பண்ண முடியும்?
Bureau Report, India Today.
Hi everyone, Preeti Chaudhary here. Hope you like this video. For latest news and analysis, like and subscribe to the India Today YouTube channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated. Thank you for watching.